All right, look at me go. All right. Um, so let's see. Hey, Michelle, Julie.
Hi,
Who am I missing?
Hi, everyone.
what an
Um,
exciting time to be.
Oh yeah.
oh
Great
yeah.
times.
Keeps us on our toes, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So let's see. Okay, we're gonna get started. If anybody has any questions, whoops, already I messed up. Let us know. Okay. Okay. So first things, on next Friday, Carolina from Glasgow will do a Zoom about international travel. So anyone can go. Students, scholars, employees, faculty, PIs, anybody who is interested is welcome to go. Um, Next. Okay, so we added a new form to our website, and there's the link. And this is if you want to bring in a postdoc or a postdoctoral research fellow, we want you to fill out this form. This way, we stop a lot of the going back and forth and finding out things accidentally, and we just know, and we can answer you a little more specifically. In addition, well, I should also, while we're there, mention you can get the controlled tech form, the sort of template for a job description, actual wage, Virtu form. It's all there. And also all the sample letters are here. And we just added this one. It's an incidental patient contact letter. So if you are bringing in anyone who will be a J1, and who will have incidental patient contact. That has to be signed by the dean of the medical school or the dean's designee. Is that how you say it? And links that you may find helpful are down here. Okay. There is a new form for USCIS for petitions like H-1B if we're filing a TN. It's called a G1650, and it allows you to use a bank account rather than like a purchasing card. And it looks like this, and it's very new, and it is a little complicated in that you would put Temple University under petitioner's information, and then you would use like business account and then add the Temple account that you want to use it for, but there's actually nowhere to put the name of the person that you're using it for. So just be aware.
Karen,
Okay.
what is this form for?
So let's say you were filing an H-1B petition and we're going to do it online. You have the option of using a G1450, which you use your credit card, like your purchasing card. This is new, and it allows you to have the money directly be debited from your bank account.
Got it.
I don't know how many people will be able to use this. Like for most people on main campus, you just have your purchasing card and it's just easier. But I am just letting people know that this is an option. People at the in the health system will most likely use this more.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, next.
So I just wanted to remind everybody that all of the Office of Postdoctoral Fellow Affairs appointments and letters are available via TU portal. So just be cognizant and aware that when you're starting a new appointment or a reappointment, that you're pulling these forms and appointment letters and requisitions directly from your TU portal under staff or faculty tools as appropriate. And then you'll scroll down to the university forms section channel and just type in postdoc, and all of my forms, appointment letters, and relevant information will pop up. Any questions about that? Next slide.
Okay.
This is just reiterating the processing times for Office of Postdoctoral Fellow Affairs. So if you're inviting a domestic postdoc in the US, it is 1 month. A J1 postdoc in the US, at least 1 month. Outside, it has to be submitted at least 2 months. And then for H1B postdoctoral fellows, research associates in the US, 2 to 3 months preferably, and then outside 3 to 4 months. And keep in mind that the processing start date begins once the required paperwork has been submitted to my office and the Destiny 1 application is complete, apart from the approved appointment letter. Also note that technology reviews are currently taking about 2 weeks. So please also keep that in mind. So when you're ready to send your appointment to me for submission, make sure that you're sending the control tech form to either Gabriella if a J and Sharon if an H, because they're taking about 10 business days. I also want to remind others as well regarding, let's say you have a appointment, postdoc or a postdoctoral fellow research associate appointment, and they're going to deal with minors, so they require Act 33. Well, that's another month as well, because it takes about a month to get those clearances back. So also keep that in mind. If someone's dealing with Act 33, they're going to deal with minors, you're going to add another month to that. Okay. Any questions about the processing times?
I just wanted to add, really try to email Gabby or I the control technology form.
Soon.
That way we know, like, you can do that as soon as it's ready, even if you haven't submitted the application. Just get that out of the way, okay? Because sometimes
time.
that's what holds us up from submitting
Mhm.
things.
And then this is the visiting research scholar and visiting research scholar and resident timeline. So for a visiting research scholar outside the US, 2 months at least. If they're inside, submit it 1 month prior to the start date. Visiting research scholar and residents, at least 2 months. If they're outside, at least 1 month. If they're in the US, visiting graduate student scholar, they're in the US and they're at least 1 month you're submitting to me. And J1 graduate student interns outside the US is 2 months at least. Also note that my office and ISSS, meaning Gabriella and Sharon, we do not determine the start date. You're determining the start date based on our processing times. Does that make sense? So if you have someone that's coming, we're not advising on the start date. You're just making sure that you are following our processing times.
Although I do have to add,
ahead.
it could be like someone's working on an EAD and it's expiring. And so that part we will get
Yeah,
involved with. Yeah. Just saying it. Okay. This is new.
I'm just reiterating this. So all postdocs that are paid on a fully grant-funded appointment position, they're exempt and do not require the hiring exception approval. For all other postdocs that do require, you're just making sure that you're including that hiring exception approval when you're submitting the appointment to my office. I've been asked about this, so that's why I'm just reiterating. So grant funded do not need the hiring exception approval, but all others do.
Sadly, this one's me. Okay. So
Shocking.
yeah. Unfortunately, there has been a government shutdown. So things that we are concerned about, USCIS generally is self-funded. That's why you pay all the fees. However, there's guaranteed to be some kind of slowdown, not maybe a shutdown, but a slowdown. For Department of State, they still will be open for like visa interviews and stuff, but there's a real good likelihood there's going to be a slowdown there as well, because I'm sure they will start furloughing people. CBP, that's the officers at the border. Hopefully we won't see too much of a problem there, but there you go. ICE, I'm sure, will be fully funded. Department of Labor, this is the big one. They are not operational, which means we cannot file an LCA. So without an LCA, as of now, we're not allowed to do anything for an H because, you know, we can't file one without an LCA. So hopefully the shutdown won't last too long and this won't be an issue. But if you were thinking you needed an H for someone in the next month or two, you might want to reach out to me so we can see if there's any other alternatives. Also the ombudsman office for CIS is gonna shut down. All right. Any questions about that?
No, just sad.
Just sad. Yep. Okay. Um, okay. So, as of now, if you need to hire someone, possibly we could do a J1. We can't do an H1B right now. Maybe we could do a TN if they're from Mexico or Canada. And we couldn't do an E3 right now because that also requires an LCA. If you have someone on an EAD, like let's say an F1 OPT, and you normally would make them go to an H, but you're considering a J instead, talk to Gabby, number one, but it's possible that Gabby, you go through the whole process. Gabby does the DS 2019 and the applicant submits a change of status application through USCIS with premium processing. We don't normally do this because we would just have people go to H1. So this is kind of uncharted territory. So just be aware. But if you have any emergencies and we can't wait to find out about H's, then consider this. Even if, okay, so there's two problems right now with the H's. There is the lack of an LCA, but there's also, we're still waiting for information about this $100,000 fee. So for people who already have an approval notice, hopefully they're able to travel and come back without this fee coming up. I have an H1B coming in today, so fingers crossed, and we'll see how that goes. But for new people that were filing an H1B, in theory, if they left the US, Temple would have to pay the fee, by the way, not them. So I know people have so many questions, but unfortunately, we're just not getting answers. But of course, once we do know anything, we will let you know. Anyone have any questions about that?
Sharon, would that include renewals for
So
H1Bs?
again, we still don't know because
Okay.
it was written so vaguely. So we're hoping no, but we don't know.
Okay.
It could be that we could still file their extension in the US, but they really can't leave. So that's not great either. If you happen to know someone has an I-140 that's been approved, have them talk to their lawyer to see if there's any way they can file for something called advance parole that you file with the 485. And that would allow them to leave the US and re-enter as a pending permanent resident. And maybe that would just sort of avoid the whole $100,000 fee. But that's something people can talk to me directly about, because that's
Oh.
that's getting convoluted, and I
Yeah,
understand that.
it is.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm aware. Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Oh, yeah, Manuela, do you have a question?
I do. Sorry if I missed this, but do we know when the flag system will be back up if they plan to bring it back up?
No.
It depends on when the government shutdown ends. So I
see.
wish I knew. No, we don't know. No.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Yeah, I
I
just have a
have
quick
one.
question. So since we're not sure about a lot of things, anyone that we have sort of pending or starting, should we just operate like normal in Destiny 1 and kind of get them to the maximum point that we can until we have more answers? Or
I mean, I think maybe it's like if you're worried about someone who has like 6 months more on OPT, maybe we should hold off and just get more answers, right? Because I would hate to have you do all the paperwork and then really you have to go do a J instead. But if they're imminent, you should just be contacting me because, that's another story. I'm really hoping we get some answers, like, um, maybe by November everything will be okay.
Just like the last government
Yeah,
shutdown,
let's
right? It was
Yeah.
30
hope.
days.
Yeah, let's see. We'll see
Let's
how
fingers
things
crossed that it's no more than 30 days.
go. Did someone else have a question?
I had a question.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to pay Clasco, so I did their credit card thing online and it didn't process, and I was wondering if that's because we can't use the Temple credit cards for that.
No, I know that you can. Maybe you want to talk to wait. Michelle Young, are you on this call? Are you here?
I am. So what you
Yeah.
have to do, Eileen, is you have to call, and
Bonnie?
I don't recall who's doing it now, but you have to call and just make a note for them on your P card because it's considered, we're not allowed to pay legal fees on our P card. However,
Okay.
this is the processing fee and they allowed me to do it. So you just have to go to the person in charge of the P card, and I'm drawing a blank since it's been Renee for
I think
so
it's
many
Bonnie
years.
Egan.
Exactly. Go to
Yeah.
Bonnie and let Bonnie know that you're
Okay.
trying to process, a P card for Clasco, and they will
Okay.
open it. They will open it up for you, and then I had no problem after that utilizing it for Clasco.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thanks, Michelle. I knew it could be
Bonnie,
done,
I'm
but
sorry to interrupt. I think Bonnie's on leave until October 6th.
oh. So
Oh,
do you know
she's-
who's taken over?
So there's a generic email that you can send, or you can send it to Donna. I don't remember her last name.
She retired October 1st.
Oh, man.
Bonnie?
Hey.
No, Donna, the head of purchasing, retired October 1st. So they're probably very short-staffed there.
Yeah, they are.
But I think
Yeah.
Bonnie, so the email address is pcard@temple.edu. It's a generic email. I don't know who picks it up, but
Right.
Bonnie's on leave until October 6th. I think she comes back.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
October 6th is this Monday.
Yeah, so that's pretty close.
Just a heads up.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
No problem.
That's why these meetings are wonderful,
Yeah.
for random questions like this.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions before we move on? Okay. Gabby?
So just another note about social security letters. You guys might be asked to fill them out by any students that you're employing for any on-campus positions during their degree program. Basically, it's just a letter that we give them supporting their social security application, saying they're a student at Temple, they're working on campus pursuant to their F1 status. So they can print it out here on our website. They should fill their part out first. then bring them to whoever their supervisor is or the department head. Then they bring them to ISSS and we sign them. The signatures all need to be physical. Otherwise, Social Security office might deny their application. And it's just, yeah, information about what it is. We know that we were getting some questions at the beginning of the semester from people who hadn't seen them before. So they're real. And
Yeah.
legitimate. But yeah, that's it.
Just so you know, I added them to the hosting department section, so you can go right to that website and download the
Perfect.
form.
Thanks.
Quick question, this has to be done before they can obtain their appointment at the Social Security office for the card?
They can schedule the appointment first, but they just need this document to bring to their appointment.
I see.
So I know sometimes they schedule them like 1 to 2 weeks out. So if they see one available, they should honestly schedule it because they're not super easy to get these days. But then once they have it scheduled, they should prepare this and all the other documents we tell them to bring.
Okay, and if the supervisor is out of office, they can like scan the copy that they signed physically and send over to the student? Like, that's okay?
Oh, no, it has to be a physical signature. We had an issue with that last summer.
Yeah, like he would sign the thing physically and then scan the copy he has to us. So
I know, but that's not physically anymore.
I
That's
see.
scanned.
I see.
I would say like that would probably be a case by case situation. Somebody else who's maybe that person's supervisor could potentially sign it instead.
Okay.
But with specifics, maybe send me an email with like more details and then I can let you know for sure.
Okay.
That was a good question though.
And just for anybody who's trying to get a Social Security letter, Social Security number, even H's or J's or whoever, we have been told by various people that they have gone outside the city to a Social Security office outside the city, and they get the appointment much faster, just in case anyone needs to know that. Okay. Gabby?
This is just another reminder about when J1 scholars are done with their program, whether it's the graduate interns or visiting research scholars. If you know that someone's leaving, whether they're transferring to a new school and I need to transfer their record, or if they decided to go home early, just let me know. It's important that I have the SEVIS record match their exact employment start and end dates, just in any case, if they want to come back in a different status one day. It should all be consistent with the university records. And then again, if someone's transferring to a new school, I have to get some information from the exchange visitors before I can transfer their records. So if, we don't really want that to happen day of, because you never know, especially these days, there's always emergencies. So as soon as you know, just let me know. There's no specific timeline. We can do the transfer far in advance and set it for some time, like a couple months in the future or a couple weeks. But yeah, just try to keep us in the loop as much as possible. And then the spooky background slide for scary administrative processing, which is happening more and more these days. It's basically if someone goes to get their visa stamp at a consulate outside of the US, whether it's their initial visa or an extension, a renewal of their visa, the officer there basically determines that they need to go through additional security measures. Most commonly these days, it's because of social media, because their profiles aren't public. So they do have to have all their social media profiles public at visa appointments these days. So we've just been trying our best to remind everybody to make their socials public and provide their handles to the officers. But it can also be for other reasons as well. And it can unfortunately take a really, really long time. I think they say that it takes like 6 to 8 weeks, but it can take up to a year in some cases. And so if this happens, we basically need to think of a plan B. So can this person come later? Can we push back the start date? If so, how far in advance can we push back the start date to? Maybe we try to do a full year from now. Maybe we can do 6 months from now. But again, similar to the last thing, just try to keep us in the loop as much as possible so that we can come up with a solution to bring the person back to do the great work that they're doing. And that this is true for everything, for H-1B, J-1, and F-1 visas, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, before we open it up to questions, I also wanted to let people know there's a brand new initiative with I don't know, DHS, one of them, and that the Department of Labor is very much starting to look at LCAs. And there's going to be a lot more, unfortunately, enforcement and scrutiny. When you are doing the actual wage, like not so much for postdocs because Nina will ultimately tell you what the salary is, but like if it's faculty or, you know, if HR is doing it, we want to make sure that we are putting the most accurate information that we can on the LCA. So just be aware that there's going to be a lot more scrutiny. Okay, on that note, does anyone have any questions about anything?
I have another like personal thing to add that I forgot to make a slide about, and I'm planning to send you all an email eventually, but I am going to be out of the country on a work trip from November 6th until after Thanksgiving. So I'll probably send an email out today to let everybody know, but while I'm out of the country, I can't do anything with SEVIS, so the DS 2019s can't be extended or created by me while I'm gone. So anything that we have coming up, if we could try to get it done before then, while I'm gone, Joan McGinley will be doing anything that needs to be done in SEVIS. And I'll still be on email, but there will be a pretty hefty time difference. So just to keep that in mind.
Just to piggyback off Gabriella, I sent out an email to let everyone know that I'm actually taking a vacation.
Yeah.
And I hope that everybody received it. I will be out of the office effective October 13th, and I will return on October, I think it's the 20th.
Yeah, it's the Monday.
So just be aware that nothing's going to get done during that time that I'm away. So kindly plan accordingly. So just keep that in mind as well.
Is there any other questions, any concerns, any thoughts, anything that you would like to share? Okay. Well,
Thanks for joining us.
yes, thank you for joining. If you do have questions, let us know. Hopefully this recorded, so fingers crossed. I'm
did.
not tech
It's recorded.
savvy. And I will also send out the slides. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you,
Hi,
everybody.
thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah,
you.
thank
Have a great
you.
weekend. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I gotta stop recording.
Have a good one, Sharon.
You too. Thank you, everybody.
Hey,
Dog,
Ivy.
Nina.
I'm so
Aw.
sorry. When she
That's
hears
all right.
goodbye, she knows
don't
that I'm
mind.
done.
Oh, that's so cute, Nina.